Now, we so crazy. My dad died about 10 years ago. So we didn't find out until we was at his funeral that I used to always say when he would shake people's hand, he would put his thumb in between his hand. And I'd be like, if you don't want to shake the people's hand, just don't shake the hand.
He was giving money.
Yes. And we didn't know it. And we so silly at his funeral when the man said that whenever he shook your hand and that thumb was in there, he was releasing money. I was like, oh, Lord, I was sick. Done talked about the man not wanting to shake the people's hand. I wanted to wake him up and tell him I'm sorry. And so, natural people probably thought they are really going crazy. This is a funeral. Because we didn't know. We always, I'm the mild person. So my sisters would never challenge my dad. I was the one that always said, why don't you just not shake the man's hand if you don't want to really touch it? Because my dad wasn't a real people person.
Right.
But he was always the one that everybody would come to. We'd go, everybody just come up here. And you don't even like people. But he was always really helpful.
Nice.
And so I just saw it. And so I tell people when you grow up in that environment, it's just a part of who you are. My grandmother would always say, a closed mouth don't get fed.
Right.
And so all he could say was yes or no. And the thing I would even say to parents now, the one thing I loved about my father and my grandmother, which was was my dad's mother, is they would always tell us, you can always disagree with us and you can always offer a suggestion. It's just in the manner in which you do it.
Right. Absolutely.
And so they didn't make us, do it because I say do it. Oh, no, because they know Diane had a comeback. I still to this day at 67 says, it just has to make sense to me. My uncle would even end it by saying, baby, if it don't make sense, it can't make change. So
I love it.
How, and everybody keeps saying I need to do a book on my daddy's sin because, oh, my God, he had some. We had everything.
Nice.
And, I tell people to this day at 67, I'm on nobody's medication. Oh, and that was because my grandmother, we used to tell Dad all the time, your mama gonna kill us. She's gonna kill us. Because ain't nobody heard of all that stuff she got us taking. But my grandmother.
So what she have you taken?
One of the things I remember as a child, my mother would look in your eyes and say, come on, you wormy. Where is they in my eyes? Because I always had a smart mind. And she would just look at us. And so when she would look at you and determine that you was wormy, she would always say she would take a teaspoon of sugar and it had to be even on that teaspoon. And then she would take 3 drops. I want to say it was that 666 stuff, but she would take 3 drops and put it on that teaspoon of sugar. You had to then lay on the bed flat.
On your back?
On my back.
Okay.
And so then she would take a wood match. It couldn't be one of those other matches. It had to be the wood match. She would strike that match, make sure naturally it's cool now, but she would take the blight from that top of that match and do a complete circle around your neighbor. And then she'd tell you, now, when you go to the bathroom, you call me. Do not flush. Call me when you go to the bathroom. And she was getting us to pass worms.
So she would be right.
Uh-huh. She would do it and I'd be like, dog. But we always said, grandmama's crazy because she always had us take. And then she would put in a mason jar, she would put natural garlic because she grew her own garlic.
Okay.
And so when we would go to her house, we'd always look at that window. Oh, Lord, she done took that mason jar out that window. So that meant, y'all got to drink some garlic juice today. So whenever we go in the house, we'd tip. And then if that garlic jar was out that window, it's like, Lord, we got to drink this garlic water. So we would have to drink that. But we would always say, we don't have to go to the doctor. Daddy just take us over here to his mama's house. And so, I don't know if you remember these little shades. They was $1 a piece. So we went to the little 10-cent store. Sammy said, everybody get some shades. 105 of us walked in there like the 5 blind boys. My grandmother was like, I know y'all funny. Y'all trying to be funny. Yeah, we was like, we don't want you to look in our eyes. Don't look in our eyes. But she would clean our ears with some hot oil. The woman just decided that I'm just going to be a medical doctor.
Right. She knew it.
She knew it.
How long did she live to be?
My grandmother will say she was 92. My daddy said she was 101. My grandmother said she was 92. And if I tell you she did not look like a real Cherokee Indian, the long, thin hair, the pretty, oh my goodness, she had the prettiest charcoal brown like skin. And she probably wasn't this high, but we would always laugh because my dad, a big man, 6'3", and he was stocky, but he would just be this big when he was around her. All we had to do was say, you wait till we get over to grandma's house.
We're going to tell it.
We're going to tell it. And he would always tell us, I wish y'all would stop. I was accident prone as a child. You name the accident, Diane could get in it.
Right.
We had a big yard because we was on like 10 acres. And so the front of the yard dropped down. So my dad said when it was time for me to start cutting the yard, I'm like, I'm not pushing no lawnmower. That's too much. And so Daddy got a John Deere riding lawnmower. Daddy said something just told him to walk to that front door. And just as he walked to the front door, crazy, riding the lawnmower and just went. Me and lawnmower just tumbling over. Daddy said he was so scared to look down, he just knew. He said, but the lawnmower was on one side and I was on the other side.
That was good.
And he would just always say, Diane, I don't know why you trying to kill yourself. God has a plan for your life and you can't stop that.